upload these, but you can try to join. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna flip. So get your now chart out. Where you missed the portion where you got to test yourself, but here is the third and fourth declension. Okay, guys. So I'm putting third in orange, fourth in black, and y'all don't have to worry about the green fifth declension until like next week, or maybe 2 weeks. I think I'll get it in chapter 22. So maybe not next week, but soon. You're gonna have all the declensions pretty soon. So let's talk about strategies for remembering the third declension, because y'all are a year late if you're not remembering the third declension yet. You should have known it this time last year. So the nominative thing, that's the easiest one because we don't know it, right? Why is Keaton sitting over there? Okay, the genitive. I want Keaton and Adrian to switch seats. I want Caden to sit in the middle, and then Carly, you're fine. You can sit. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so focus, guys. You're trying right now. What you're doing is like filling out what you couldn't fill out from memory, and then trying to think of like ways of remembering this. Elena, do you not have your noun chart or something? What's happening? Okay, so the genitive is is. That is also very distinct. All right, it is not the plural dative or ablative is ending that we find in the first two declensions. Okay, because it's just regular I and then S. Dative, that dative long I. That's kind of weird because y'all might get it mixed up with second declension genitive, but that I shows up in so many of our datives that are pronouns. When our pronouns are datives, they usually get this long I too. And then, oh look, fourth declension also gets a long I in its dative. Accusative is em. Remember the two big vowels for third declension are I and E. So we know look at all the accusative singulars, they all end in M. It's amazing. And then, so since like one of the big vowels for third declension is E, it's going to be EM for third. Just a single E for ablative. All the ablatives are just vowels. They're just single vowels. They're technically mostly long vowels except for third, but they're vowels. So it goes from A to O to E to U to E. Plurals, the ES, it's the same as the accusative plural. So if you remember the nominative plural, you also know the accusative plural. The genitive plural is UM. That's a bad ending. It's not hard. I don't like it. And then the dative plurals, those should be very distinct. You should remember those ibis, right? It's very distinct and kind of unique. And now let's look at the black endings of fourth declension. It starts with US. So if you're looking at a fourth declension's dictionary entry, you would need to look to the genitive to understand that it's actually fourth and not second, right? Because that just looks like good old second declension. And then we have a long US in genitive. And guess what? If you remember the fourth declension genitive, you will also remember the nominative plural and the accusative plural. So that's the big overlap that happens in fourth declension. I don't think it's so annoying as it is like so much annoying as it is. It's just a feature of this declension, right? We're kind of used to accusative plurals being the same as nominative plurals from third declension. And then we've also seen nominative plurals be the same as genitive singular. So we're actually kind of used to that. Sarah, if you spill like juice or whatever that is on the computer, you will literally owe the school hundreds of dollars. Just saying. Okay, genitive plural is U-U-M. So that's kind of just like a third declension ending with like an extra U, because this declension is obviously obsessed with U. It shows every ending. And then ibis again. So if you know ibis for third, you also know dative and ablative plural for fourth. Does anybody think they're going to get third and fourth by Friday? Anyone? Lucy does think. Parker maybe. Caden says, let's see if Caden can. That'd be awesome, right? And Keaton thinks he might too. All right, and then the perfect endings. I hope y'all remember. Oh, I didn't add perfect, but let me add it real quick. Damn, it's frozen for some reason. Unfreeze. There we go. All right. So y'all definitely know your OSU must have sent. That's not something you need to know. But hopefully you remember this from yesterday. Oh, I did add those. What I wanted to add was neuter here. Okay. Passive. That's what we're going to focus on today. So we focused on perfect active yesterday. I verb, you verb, it verb. E, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. We verb, y'all verb, they verb. Now we're going to focus on present passive, which is chapter 18. That was the beginning of quarantine for y'all. So if you didn't learn it well, I don't blame you. I'm not going to give away the passive endings because we're slowly going to fill them in over there. But did anybody get any of the passive present endings? Anyone? Cora, you got a couple? really, but maybe you got one. Well, none of y'all got any of those. So that'll be the goal tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want y'all to be able to write these perfect active endings, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. And then you should also be able to do the passive endings. So speaking of passive endings, we're going to fill them in over there. Here is our first one, delectamur. So we're both reviewing endings, verb endings, and vocabulary. So if you're like, oh, I don't know what delectare means, you should write it down somewhere, whether it's a refresher sheet, which are on the table over there, or in your notebook. But what is this? It's obviously passive. It's present. I already told you. And what person and number is it, Parker? Yeah, this is our first person plural passive ending. So do you remember delecto, delectare, what it means, Parker? It's not deleo, delere. It's not destroy. It's if something's delectable, it might blank you. Yeah, delight. So what would this be then? If it's first plural, it's gonna be something about we. We what? Not we delight. That'd be active. How do we make it passive? We not have. We don't need have or has helping verbs. That'd be for perfect passive. Bailey, what do you think? Not had. Think of like our good present tense helping verbs. Because I can say like we verb, but I can also say we blank verbing. We are. So we are what? Delighted. We are delighted. That is how you translate the first plural passive present ending. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that'd be we are. So present passive is really not bad, guys. It does involve you whipping out these different kinds of helping verbs, including is, are, and am. Those are our present tense helping verbs that we're going to need to use to translate the passive present. Okay, so let's see how this compares to what is the first person plural present active version of this, right? Good old like present active. All the verbs that we had before chapter 8 were active. That'd be delectamus. That would just be we delight. Like we are delighted. Well, in the passive voice, right? It's a voice. It's we are delighted. The verb is actually happening to the subject, right? It's happening to the subject. Where in an active verb, the delighting is happening to a direct object, right? Like we delight the class or whatever. Yeah. So there's the verb down there, delectare. The good news about this is we are not using third and fourth principal part for present passive. We're just using like the normal stem we get from like the second principal part. That's kind of nice, right? So, okay, a carminibus antiqui Graecii delectamur. What's that going to be? Luke?
Is it an ancient Greek song? Delights me?
Not delights me, because that would be making the ancient Greek song the subject, and it would be actively verbing you. It's still going to be, because we're still using delectamur, so part of it's still going to be we are delighted. But we are delighted what? I mean, you kind of have it. Keaton?
By.
It's kind of ancient Greek song. It's actually like we are delighted by the songs of ancient Greece. Yeah, of the ancient Greece. Graecia is like Greece, the place. Where Greek is Greek or Greek. So yeah, that's just like a sentence example of delectamur. All right, any questions on that? All right, let me check. Let me just to make sure. I turned off my waiting room, but I'm still paranoid. Oh, weird. Maybe she gave up. Like she couldn't get in yesterday, so she was like, "Fine, I'll never." Never mind, because I'm gonna upload this. I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, but if y'all are watching this, y'all should try to stream. When did we start this? We started it at 9:40ish. Around 9:40ish, y'all should stream. I don't see why you wouldn't. That way we can show you to your classmates, and y'all can like use your mics and like answer questions and stuff. Okay, videor. What is videor? It's passive, present passive. What person and number is this? Parker. First person singular. First person singular. So the endings really just are. Like the O would be there anyway, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. But I like to write it as the ending is OR. So you can do it that way, or you can just write R, or you can just write OR without parentheses. Because I don't think of O as like being part of the stem, but it's like that's how the textbook is treating it. So videor is kind of unique, actually. It's the only verb that gets like its own dictionary entry for when it's passive. So what does it mean? It means not I see, but I. So our helping verb for first person plural was are, like we are verb. So this one would be, you said am. So it'd be I am what? Seen, yeah. So verbed, basically. I am seen. And then because this one's kind of unique, actually, it gets its own little, like, it can also be seen, which is, like, that's unique. It's usually it's going to be I am verbed. But for video, it's unique. It's going to be I seen. Or even I appear, apparently. So whereas video, videiri is to see. Because this verb apparently is so common, it gets its own dictionary entry in the passive voice, which is rare. Usually we can just like take an active verbs dictionary entry and make it passive, but they give us a dictionary entry just for the passive form of this. So to be seen, seen, or appear. All right, so let's go. I think this one is, let's translate this as I am seen in the sentence, but I am seen what? Omnibus Romanis in Colosseo. What is that going to be, Parker?
I am seen by all the Romans in the Colosseum.
Yeah, exactly. What case is Omnibus and Omnibus Romanis? It's the same case as, well, actually, not quite the same case. Yeah, it is the same case as Carminibus in the last sentence. What case and function is that? Or what case is Omnibus Romanis? I am seen by all the Romans.
It's either
In Colosseo is obviously ablative, a place where, in the Colosseum. Omnibus Romanis is
dated.
You're close. It could be dated here, though. It's probably going to be because it's not an indirect object.
Ablative.
It's going to be ablative. And it's the ablative of what? The ablative of a secret agent. So, with passive verbs, because the subject is being acted upon by the verb, we are often going to have the verb being carried out by an ablative of agent or an ablative of means. So in this sentence, it was an ablative of means. That was the thing delighting the we, the subject. And here, because it's a person, or your Romans count as people, it's ablative of agent. So yeah, every time you have a passive verb, you should be wary, or you should be looking for an ablative of means or agent. All right. Recitur. From recito, recitare, which I've already given. What person number do you think this is, Keaton? We got first, singular, and plural. What is this one?
Second. Yeah, second.
Yes, it's not second, actually. Okay. It is third singular. Yeah, it is good. Very good. So that would be what, Caden? He, or let's say it, because we need it actually. It what? Not it recites. That would be active. Be passive. It's going to be it. But we need a helping verb. Not it recited, but it. Not am or are, but it. Close. Because we don't say it am recited or it were or it are recited. We say it's. But it is recited. Yeah, it is recited. So that's why I'm going with it, because if I said he or she, like a he or she isn't recited. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with like a genderless something. Okay. It is recited. It is verb. Because, yeah, Caden, if you just left it as it recited, that would be active. That would be perfect active. That's what we were learning yesterday. Perfect active. Now we're learning present passive. So these verbs need to happen to the subject. This recitation is being inflicted upon the it. Whereas with active verbs, the subject is always like doing a verb at a direct object. Like it recites the direct object hello. So that is the active version of this, recitat, it recites, versus the passive, it is recited. Okay, this looks huge, but this is actually, I'm quite proud of this. This is very poetic. I composed this while the snow was coming down last night. Totem Carmen Nocte in Taberna sub Kylo bello semper recitor. Taberna is shop or tavern. We translate that as tavern here. We also see Nox. Nocte is from Nox Noctis, meaning night. So, what's your subject? At least we can start there. It looks long. It's a fake hard sentence. It's just full of prepositional phrases. What's the subject, anyone? Because we're gonna have a subject, unlike the first singular and plural ones where the subject was I or we. This one will have one. Carly? Wait, which one? Yeah, Carmen. Is he going with it? Yeah, totem actually is. Carmen is neuter, if y'all remember. So that means what? The blank. What? Yeah. What about just a little part of the song, or the whole song, the entire song? It's our predicate right up there, right? The whole song. Not was. Keep it present, Lucy. is always recited nocte.
Night.
And let's add a preposition, not just nights. Do we say in at night in the tavern sub Kylo Bella? Under a beautiful sky. The whole poem is always recited at night in the tavern under a beautiful sky. I forgot to put it always. Good. Yeah. Homer used to like recite his poetry like all the time in like taverns and stuff. And people would just like hang out and listen to him. Good. Okay. So that's third person singular. Okay, many. What person number do you think this is, Cora? We have first singular plural. We have third singular. What is this one? This one's the weirdest one. It's the only one that doesn't have the letter R in it. Wait.
I know what mini is. I've seen it before. I know what it is though.
Kaden knows it somehow.
It's second person plural.
It is second person plural. So Cora, if Kaden knows it, then we should all know, right? Because Kaden doesn't know any Latin, except somehow he does. Good. This is second plural. Dokeo, dokeri is to teach. So what would this translate to? If this verb means to teach, what would the second person plural? Okay, what is our second person plural subject? You don't know? So first person singular is I. So a second person singular is you. Third singular is it. First plural is we. And then second plural is not you, but you all. Yeah. So you all what? You all.
You all are taught.
Is that, are you going to say that, Carly? You all are taught. Very good. You all are taught. Good. So versus like just the active second person docatus would be like you all teach a direct object. You all teach the school, Ludo. And this is you are all are taught. So so are is the helping verb for all the plurals. It might be helpful to like write. So it's like first thing is like am verb. Second is are verb, you are verb. I'll just write the helping verb. Then it's is verb, and then all the plural ones are. We are verb, y'all are verb, they are verb. So that is literally the hardest thing about it, and like y'all definitely know how to conjugate the verb to be. That's what that verb is, it's to be. But you do need to whip that guy out and combine him with the simple past version of the verb to make it passive. That is a much more complicated way of saying what you guys are hopefully learning in a more simple way, which is this is how you translate the passive voice. So okay, multis magistris qui hunc ludum laborant. Let me just add ob. I don't know. I guess maybe I don't need to add ob, but I feel like I do. Maybe not need to add ob. No, since it's a person, I should have added ob because it's a spoiler, an ablative of agent. So what is this gonna be? I snuck in a little relative clause. If y'all just want to focus on the main clause first, that's fine. But I'm trying to like also review other grammar things that we've gotten quarantine. So just the main clause. What's the main clause? Doce mini ob multis magistris. What's that? That's real easy. Where would the relative clause second, Carly? Yeah, many teachers. What? What about the many teachers? Who? Where? Yeah, I did this wrong. So not. So we don't want this school to be accusative. What do we want this school to be? Anyone? Y'all do my job for me. Yeah, how about ablative? Like in this school. I don't know why it would have been accusative. So there we go. And now let me scoop that up. So you are all taught by many teachers who work at this school. See, and it's going to be in. And then let's put it here. There we go. Okay. So that's just a relative clause. So even though even though multi-magistris I already said is ablative of agent, these teachers, that is the antecedent of qui, the relative pronoun. So within the relative clause, qui is actually what case? Anyone? Don't overthink it. It's just good old. Anyone? Yeah. Qui quite quad. What case is it? Huh? Yeah. So in the relative clause, this is the subject who work in the school. Qui is singular or plural. Here would be plural technically because it has to agree with magistries. So I'm just trying to make a point that like remember relative pronouns. refer back to another noun, and that is called their antecedent. And they don't have to be the same case as that other noun. Because here, this is ablative, but then within the relative clause, it actually becomes the subject. That kind of makes sense? Hopefully it does. It's not as confusing as I often make things sound. I do that all the time. Like anytime I describe grammar, it sounds harder than it actually is. Should just never describe grammar to you guys. It's like the snow's already kind of melting. All right, navigantur. This is what? Second singular or third plural? Which one do we?
Plural.
Yeah, third plural because we see that nt. They're good old OSD must is int nt. So what would this be? They what? They are sail.
Sailing.
No, wait. You I think you said it. Did you say sail or sailed? Okay. Wait, it should be sailed though. They are sailed. So that sounds wrong, but trust me, I figured out a context where this will actually make sense. So this is what we want to say. So they are sailed. Yeah, it's got to be is or are, is, am, or are verbed. So, omnia Maria ab nautis fortibus in tempora navigator. Lucy? And what are they? No? I think you know. I think you do have it. So, just by the way, this is the active version of this. Navigant would be they sail. The passive version is they are sailing. Hopefully, you are all seeing how these are very easily formed. We're just using the second principal part and adding these endings to make them passive instead of active. They're still present tense. So, what's our subject? Anyone, Lucy? Yeah, all the C's or like every. Yeah, let's go with all C's. That way, it's like plural. So all C's. What kind of sailors? Strong or brave sailors. Oh, that's what I should have done. That would be tempestos. This is in tempore from tempus. So like in time. Your version's better. I'm gonna change it to tempestos for the ninth graders. Thank you. So all seas are sailed by brave sailors in time. I was trying to sound poetic. Like as in like eventually every sea will be sailed by sailors. Eventually sailors get to all parts of the world. It did take like thousands of years though. I might use tempestos. Okay, good. So what case is nautis? Bailey, what case is nautis here? Good. What kind of ablative is it? Luke. It's an ablative of. Let's see. It would be means except sailors are people. Yes, it would be agents. Yeah. So we're seeing ablative of agents and means like almost all of these because that's like those. Well, ablative of means can show up anywhere, but ablative of agent is going to show up exclusively for passive verbs. If you have a passive verb, you're going to be having an ablative. Y'all get how that works though, right? It's like they used to be our subject to the verb. Now, since the verb is happening to the subject, the ablative is actually the thing that is like doing the verb, right? Because that's when we're translating ab as by instead of from. So suddenly it's like the ablative is the thing that's doing the verb. Kind of weird, right? That really turns things on its head in terms of what we learned in the first year and a half of Latin. All right, we only got one more. It is obviously the second singular. So, ris, R-I-S, is the second singular ending. Iacaris, from iakio, iacra, iakiactum, to throw or hurl. What's this going to be, anyone? I like this one. It sounds kind of like violent. Yeah, I know. Parker?
You are.
Carly, what were we going to say? You are thrown or hurled? Yeah, very good. You are thrown or hurled. Yeah, so just like with all the plural ones, are is the helping verb we use for second singular. So it goes from am to are to is, and then are. So you are thrown ex mundo umbrae and mundo lucus. Wait. How about, I want it to be this. I don't think we've seen mundus, but in medieval Latin, they start using that word to mean world. And umbra means shadow. So an umbrella is like a little shadow that you hold over your head. Umbra means shadow. It can sometimes mean ghost. Let's translate a shadow here. So what would this be? Iacaris ex mundo umbrae in mundum lucus. I like this sentence. It was getting very poetic sounding yesterday. Keaton?
A ghost was thrown by an umbrella.
Yeah, excellent attempt, Keaton. Very good. No, we know it's still you are thrown, right? I'm keeping the verb the same, so the subject's still you. You are thrown what?
What if you are thrown by the ghost?
I actually don't have an ablative in here. I don't have an ablative of. That'd be cool though. That would be like umbri. No, it'd be umbra with a macro of the A. You were thrown by the ghost. We can make that sentence, but this is a different one. What? You are thrown. What's ex mundo? From
the shadow.
the world
World of shadows.
of shadow
And
into what's Lux Lucas?
Right.
Yeah, into the world of light. Okay, y'all had good.
mine was so much better.
Yours was actually pretty good.
So much better.
Yours was pretty good, I gotta say. And I kind of want to do something with Caden's idea, where the ghost is the ablative of agents. But
Say you are thrown by a ghost.
I could, yeah. All I would need to do is add Umbra. But then it'd be weird for us to use Umbra as shadow and as ghost. But we could. And then Coom umbrella with an umbrella. All right. Okay, so we're basically done. That's the passive voice, kind of, in a nutshell. But what happens if I add a BA into the middle of this verb between the stem and the ending? It's no longer you are thrown. It will be you what? You, Caden? Is that what you said? What? Yes, you were thrown because this is what tense, anyone? This is imperfect. So somehow Caden has mastered the imperfect passive voice before even knowing about the imperfect active. But yeah, so all we're doing with imperfect passive is we're just squeezing a BA between the stem and those endings. That's it, truly. And then instead of using am, are, or is, we use was and were. Guys, that's it. So that'd be you were thrown. I added more to it. In fact, you were thrown. Okay, it's not any better though. All right. So there are all of our passive endings right there. These are the passive. Luke, what tense are these? Yeah. So okay. So imperfect is super chill, right? It's literally just BA, 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 BA. Same ending, squeezing in BA between the ending and the stem. Future's a little not as cool. It's gonna be BOR, and then really these two are the weirdest ones. These two are kind of weird. The second person, it's not. You'd think it would be BIRIS, but the BIs come out here, 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 and then it goes back to the punch cake thing. So future is like, I don't know. It's like a little annoying, but it's not that bad. If anything, I think this is truly the only actual weird one because we're used to this. This is okay because that's kind of like Bovis fit, but that one is weird. Why is it E? Who knows? Well, yeah, that and there's something about the sequence of letters BIRIS that does sound like not Latin. Iris. I wouldn't even know how to translate it. Iris. Okay, pronounce it. Any questions? So with future passive, it's just will be verb over and over again. The helping verb does not change at all. It's will be verb, you will be verb, it will be verb, we will be verb. So I guess translating the future is almost more relaxed than the imperfect because we do go from was to were to was to just were. But like y'all know how to do that. It just make it sound like good English and you're not gonna mix it up. But that's the passive voice, guys. Yeah, there it is again. So when you first get passive voice, present passive, they just give you the future for first and second conjugation. Notice imperfect is the same for all four conjugations. Oh, there's a long E in front of the B. Like, who cares? It's fine. In front of the BA. It's still BA, so we should still recognize it. But these are the nastiest ones right here. They're a little weird because instead of BO, BE, BI, 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 BU, it's AR. Because like that should remind us of how future third and fourth conjugation verbs are, right? The blue endings for third and fourth conjugation. Aren't third and fourth conjugation annoying? They're like work. So that's where that A is coming from. And then it's like these long E's. A tour, A more, A tour. But don't worry, I'll never expect you guys to pick up on future passive for third and fourth conjugation. I'm just like help you with that because it's like eventually it gets to be too much, you know. But that is like the one little asterisk. Like when we made those big verb charts that I feel like some people have already maybe misplaced, we didn't get all of these endings, but it's because they're just like, I don't know. You can only do so much. All right, so there are the passive endings in purple. So tomorrow, y'all should be able to write the perfect active and the present passive. Yeah, but that's basically it for today. All right, I'm gonna stop the video. We still got like 15 minutes in here. Ooh. All right. End meeting. So